This is John. He's a heavy drinker, and last night after coming home from work, he went a bit too far. So now, he's stranded on his roof. But where the fuck are his clothes? Oh, they're all the way at the end there. Oh, and the stuff's police in the way. Oh, and there's an asteroid coming, what the fuck? Okay, this is all getting a bit too much. So, let's go back. I was sitting in my chair, like normal people do, when I suddenly felt the urge to make a 2D active ragdoll, and I decided to make a platformer game out of it. I've made a bunch of 3D active ragdolls before, so why not make a 2D one, right? Should be easy. All I had to do was crush one of my 3D active ragdolls and click this button that makes it go from 2D to 3D. But since that didn't work, I used my active ragdoll skills as well as a little bit of internet to make this guy right here. He's currently still made up of basic shapes, but I'll fix that later. Now, you all saw the thumbnail, and as you can see the player was a lot less clothed. Well, that's actually because this is pre-drinking John. He works in a bank and is very helpful and kind, with a beautiful girlfriend that he loves and cares for more than anyone in the world. But then, tragedy struck. John lost his girlfriend to Shrek. I mean, can you blame her? You know? So, John started drinking his sadness away, which led him to lose all of his clothes, and to finding himself stranded on his rooftop with his background I made. I then also gave him a sword for some reason, which at the moment destroys his cube enemies, and made these ropes that you can swing from, which are really fun. I then experimented with turning these buildings 3D, because the buildings were looking kind of flat. So, I first tried making these fake 3D buildings, but I'm not very good at making those apparently. So I then started mixing real 3D and real 2D, which caused some problems as both 2D and 3D have their own colliders that don't interact with each other. Luckily, 3D objects can have 2D colliders though, so I used that to fix it. I also tried turning it into a wipeout game when I abandoned the project, as I explained in my previous video of 3 years of game dev. But a few weeks ago I found it again and decided to continue working on it. By then I had started working on my Steam game, where you're a ball that has to find the quickest way through a map whilst having precise control over your movements, which you should totally go wishlist right now because I'm hugging your family, and it would be a shame if I hugged them too hard, wouldn't it? So anyways, I made this texture for the buildings in that game, and so I just dragged it on over there, you know what I'm saying? After having abandoned the project for so long, the red cubes kinda seem to have evolved into police. Crazy, right? It's not like I just copied John and turned that smile all the while, you know, frown upside down. I tried, okay? I tried. I also gave him the same movement as John and got them to follow him. Motherfucker, stop pushing me. You know what? Fuck you, I'm jumping, which you can't do. Shit, I missed. Well, I just gotta stand there? Fucking help me. Now, of course, police isn't a police without a murder weapon, which they can use when they feel threatened or disrespected. I made a quick gun in Photoshop and wrote a bit of code to get the shooting system working. You okay, bro? Yeah, I've just been having some trouble lately. Don't worry, bro. Happens to the best of us. Not me, though. No, I'm saying I lost my girlfriend. Now, one problem this game has is that there's no way to murder anyone, as the soldiers kinda, oops, the police officers without it affecting them. So, I wrote a script that makes it so that the police limbs get cut off when the sword touches it, just like how it happens in real life. Got your head! No matter how realistic the limb cutting is, we still need something else to complete it. Blood. So, I made this nice little effect.
What's up, gamers? Thing.
What the?
Thing.
No.
Thing.
No.
Thing.
I then added a block to the character using this button. Looks like that still doesn't work. I then found out that I can throw the police over me, WWE style, so I might have spent like a minute or 243 doing that.
And his name is John C.
After which I made it so that you can throw your sword. I just made it so that when you press A, or Q for the American... Wait, Azerty isn't global? Kurdi is? That means I'm the Imperial system in this case. So, pressing Q, like I always do, will make you drop the sword, so you have to swing your arm and then release it to throw it. It was after making this system that something weird happened. There was like this big meteor and just came out of nowhere and was like going really fast, so I couldn't do anything about it. And it hit John and it gave him superpowers, like the power to not give a fuck and sarcasm. Cool, right? Definitely not made up. So, to compensate for these just sad powers, I gave him some cool powers, like a dash, which also gives you a 2-second speed boost where whatever you touch explodes because it's just moved that fast. As well as a force hold, or at least that's what it was supposed to be, but for some reason the police just kept flying away when testing it instead of flying towards the mouse. So, after trying to fix it for a while, I got a better idea. I renamed it to Force Police under Super Helios, or Force push for sure, but I like that one a lot less, because, I mean, it makes less sense, right? I also remade the character to be more drunk, but before that, I let a friend play the game. And one thing I noticed when totally not creepily looking over his shoulder is that although constantly spamming a dash superpower is fun, it's also very
6.5 hours later.
very
Day 2.
very like, I really can't underestimate how overpowered it is. It's crazy. So, to combat this, I made these two little icons that show you if you can use it or not, and gave both powers a delay. Now, how about the swords? Isn't that overpowered as well, you might be asking? Good question. And to that I ask who? Who the fuck asked? I learned that one from John. Maybe super sarcasm isn't that bad a power after all. I also made an AK-40...
Okay, say anything but 7. Just don't say 7.
7?
You have one job. One fucking job.
Okay, let's just call it FYM69. Short for I fucked your mom. The I is silent. Speaking of silence, the game is very quiet right now, which makes killing the police a lot less fun. So I added a bunch of fun little sounds like a whoosh when dashing, a cool little thunder sound when force pushing, a blood-curdling scream when defacing the police, as well as some sounds I recorded myself, like a very policey sounding hey, and bones cracking and blood spewing out everywhere for the dash impact. I then finished the project off by slaying a super massive police that I actually had to remove sadly because he just kept falling off the roof before I even got there like half of the time. So you won't be able to slay him yourself. You will still be able to play the game though by downloading it through the link in the description. If you haven't seen my balls yet though, you should totally go watch this video.